Hi everyone, it's Jessica from Diamond and Sticks YouTube channel, and I'm going to show y'all, make a short video here showing y'all the weather. Look at the skies. It's pretty out here, or it feels good. I know it's like in the 80s. It's like 82 degrees out here. But look up there at the sky, how gray them clouds are. Those rain clouds. Really dark looking gray rain clouds there. It was a little bit cool out here yesterday, and it was a little bit like raining on and off as far as the weather goes. You can see some of the trees are starting to bud out. I'm not really sure if we was having like yesterday or nothing, and the week before that probably, if we was having some kind of like redbud, I guess it was redbud winter or whatever. Anyways, I have to bring out this bag of trash, put it in the trash bin here. So I figured I'd do that with you all right fast. Put it in there. Close it back up if I can. There we go. It's muddy in some places. And I'm drinking right now. I'm finishing off. I don't have much of it. Let me know in the comments if y'all ever drink these. They're hard to find around here, and sometimes I even went years without finding them. They're called Clearly Canadians, and this is Melton Blackberry is the flavor. But anyways, these things are good. I've never tried the ones, because obviously I like sweet stuff, but I've never tried the ones with zero sugar. I noticed the other day that they do have them, and the only place that I can get them's at my local Food City. And you pay, there's some blue and white clouds there, but anyways, you'll pay, like, you can get 2 of them for $5. So they're a little bit costly. They are on the costlier end, but every now and then I will treat myself and buy, you know, some of these or one of these or something like that. But and I don't really have a favorite flavor. I just like them all. But like I said, I've never tried the ones that are zero sugar, but they do have those now. I've just never tried them. Let me know in the comments if you like sweet stuff and if you've ever tried the ones with zero sugar, because a lot of times I don't like flavored water or nothing. I know this ain't water, but still, I don't like flavored water things like what's it called, like carbonated water. I don't like, or like sparkling water. I don't like stuff like that. And if I do, the only kind I really like is like the Food Club brand. I get that from my local Food City grocery store. And I get orange flavored, or sometimes I think I get like tangerine flavor. So really about the only ones I like is the citrus flavored ones. And it's the same, what I prefer, or I like the most that I've tried of, is the Splash brand flavored waters that comes in the orange, tangerine, and lemon. But I like the orange the best. That's what I found out when it comes to all them, you know, flavored water taste and stuff. And a lot of those I don't know, carbonated ones I just don't like. But I still not been able to try, what is that new brand everybody's been showing here on YouTube? Some of my friends and followers here on YouTube has been showing it and stuff, but I can't think of the name of it. But I don't think any of the stores around here carry that one yet. That one's kind of new. But let me know in the comments if y'all have ever had these Clearly Canadians and if you like them. I really love like peach flavored stuff too. Looks like the clouds are moving more that direction instead of coming this direction. But that gray cloud right there is in that corner of where it usually starts to rain at if it comes a rainstorm or something. But you can see these blue skies and white clouds is there. So I don't know, it might end up being a pretty day. Like I said, according to the computer, I still don't have my temperature thermometer thing hooked back up on that porch yet. But anyways, according to the computer's temperature, and no, it's not my computer, I just use it. But anyways, according to that, it's 82 degrees outside right now. So I mean, it's nice. It's actually a little bit warm. And I don't know what it was the other day. I took my girls over to Pikeville, and because I never get to do anything with them. I never have any, right now, financially, any money to spend or nothing. And I really didn't have it to spend the other day, but I mean, they have went like years and months without me doing anything with them. And so I wanted to do something with them. And I took them over to Pikeville, past Pikeville actually. So that was over, for me, my drive, well over an hour and a half drive away from my house to get over there. I went to a place called Coal Run, and I took them to an ice cream shop over there. It's called The Scoop, and it's probably the best ice cream shop around here that I know of in eastern Kentucky. I'm pretty sure that they have one at, well, they have that one at Coal Run. They just actually put that in too about, I don't know, 5 or 6 months back. But it didn't look like to me whenever I was driving over there that they had gotten flooded out or nothing completely since that last flood back in February of 2025. But I seen where other places next to them, you could tell, got completely flooded out and stuff, completely destroyed and everything. But they didn't look like that they had or nothing. And there's a lot of businesses over there. I didn't film none or nothing, but there's a lot of businesses and stuff over there in that area near Coal Run and near the Weddington Square Plaza and stuff over there at Pikeville. You can tell that have just been completely flooded out, and they're not going to reopen or anything. But anyways, I took them over there to that place, and I guess that place is kind of modeled after, or they probably did it because of the name, after that TV show Stranger Things. And you know, on that TV show Stranger Things, I think it's like in season 3 or 4 or something, I could be wrong or something, but anyways, they have a ice cream parlor in that mall in that TV series, and it's called Scoops. And anyways, on so that TV series or whatever, so I'm sure that's why a lot of these businesses and stuff in the ice cream business and stuff have kind of modeled their businesses, ice creams and stuff, shops, after that TV series in the Stranger Things. But it's called The Scoops is what I took them to. And I ended up trying, it's the first time I ever had them, I ended up trying what is called waffle strawberry cheesecake nachos ice cream. And it's the first time I've ever had anything like that. And it was real, and it had slices of natural strawberries and stuff on it, and strawberry glaze and whipped cream and this strawberry syrup. But that was really, really good. You can see my hostas are starting to come up more out of the ground. I got a ton of them. That's from me transplanting them over the years all over the place and just moving them or taking little sprouts. And I've gave tons of people starts of them hostas and stuff over the years. But that's just what I have right here that I've moved around. They used to be over here on this ditch line, but that's just what I've moved around and stuff over the years and transplanted back into this, what I'm trying to make a big old flower bed type thing. But everything I have planted in here takes over grows and spreads. So, but now it's starting to come up more of the summer type plants that will last all spring and summer foliage, like the green plants and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, I had those nachos, and then my oldest daughter ended up, looks like I have one little plant sprout here of this purple looking little plant. Just that one, that's the only one I see. But anyways, here's some of those purple violets too that's just spread. My oldest daughter ended up having the waffle nachos, but she ended up having Superman ice cream, and she didn't go with no toppings or nothing like that with hers. And then my youngest daughter ended up having a cotton candy milkshake. And so, because she's got a real sweet tooth and stuff. But anyways, look at those clouds. It was a really good place. I definitely would recommend y'all to check it out if y'all are here locally to me or anything, or if you live nearby or anything, to check it out. Those clouds are gorgeous looking too, even though a lot of them's like gray and stuff. It's starting to clear up though, so I don't think we end up with no rain, nothing to amount to anything. Looks like it's passing itself, like going that direction, like I said, because all the darker clouds are going that way. So that would be like probably towards like Perry County, Hazard, Kentucky, for me, in that direction there, like going that way. But you can tell it's clearing up. It's gorgeous, beautiful. But yeah, I definitely recommend. I won't finish drinking this, y'all. It's good. Man, that's good. But I love Clearly Canadians. I have ever since I was a child. I've always loved them. But I definitely recommend y'all checking out that ice cream place if you're anywhere here locally to me. It was really good, really delicious. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I'm sure it was costly, because isn't everything costly nowadays? So I hadn't did anything, and I feel bad because I'm not able to afford things right now and do things with my two daughters and stuff, and they miss out on a lot of things in life. Well, we all do, because of finances. Anyone would have to be an idiot, and I don't care what anybody says, if they would say, oh, it's okay to be poor or whatever. No, anybody and everybody, if they have any sense at all, would tell you you would be better off rich, or to have money and stuff. Nobody wants to go through life being poor, not being able to, yeah, I know you can be rich in other ways, but obviously I'm not rich in those ways either, and I'm not going to get into it in this video. But anyways, people are better off financially no matter what in life, because you can't do nothing nowadays. I mean, you can't even walk outside without spending money, pretty much just the way it feels nowadays. Seems like if you walk outside nowadays, and it's been like that for years, it ain't just started, it's just getting worse, which I know it's supposed to too, no matter political sense or who's president or any of that stuff. I know the Bible is gonna fulfill itself one day or another anyways. Even if I'm here on this earth or not, it's gonna fulfill itself. It will in its own time, or whatever, in the Lord's timing, or whatever you want to say. But and I know things are just supposed to get more expensive and stuff over time and stuff. Look at how dark them clouds are in that direction, and how light they are in this direction here. See that? They're pretty. Even the dark ones over here, like this way. They're pretty there and stuff too. But I didn't film at the ice cream place because I didn't want to get copyrighted, and I wouldn't have no clue who the music artist was or what the title was or any of that stuff. And inside the ice cream shop, they were playing their music full blast. So I definitely would have been copyrighted. And I still don't know how to do anything on this phone that I'm using as far as like editing goes. And the only thing I know how to do is I know to go in on my videos and edit them like that and crop things out, like I can shorten the video. That's the only thing I know how to do so far when it comes to any kind of editing or anything like that when it comes to videos. It's the only thing that I've learned myself just by messing around and doing something. But as far as anything else goes, I don't know how to do anything else yet. So this is going to be, my videos are going to be whatever they are for the time being and stuff. That's just what they're going to be. But I still don't know how to, gotta get a drink, guys. So I don't know how to edit videos or nothing, or do like overlays for videos or nothing like that either. So it is what it is and stuff. But anyways, none of them people who just passed me waved, so I didn't wave back. I don't know who they were or nothing. I'm sure it's like everybody else around here, just being nosy. That's all it's ever been my whole life. No matter if you got a camera or something in your hand or not, people are nosy around here. They have been all my life. And I'm 43 years old, so people do not change. I'm nosy too, though. Truth be known, I'm just not that nosy. I kind of stay in my own lane, mind my own business, and that's the way I wish other people were in life. It's just my opinion. And that's the way life really should be, you know. But y'all are hearing across the railroad tracks there and across the creek, the highways over there. It's a little bit bigger, not much. I wonder what all them birds, I just now noticed that. I wonder what all them birds are scrambling around about. There's a little bird up there on the power line pole line or whatever. And that's another thing I've been noticing, because I have to drive that direction anytime I go over like to Pike County anyways, to pick up my daughters when they're at their dad's and stuff over in Pike County and his families. And I've noticed over there towards it's a little bit past the Mayking area in Letcher County, there's this spot, it's called like Golf Course Lane. Some of y'all, if you're familiar with this area, you might know what I'm talking about. But I've been noticing the past probably 3 or 4 times now that I've went that direction, that there is, there's always like these birds, a bunch of birds, like we're talking hundreds of birds. No, I don't know what kind they are, excuse me. But anyways, I've been noticing that all kinds of these birds have just been flying around in a circle, kind of like over top of this house there where that little black bridge is. I'll take y'all there sometime. I ain't doing it today or nothing, but I will take y'all and show y'all what I'm talking about sometime. But there's all these little birds and stuff that are like flying around at this one particular place. Every time I drive past it, at that Golf Course Lane place. And no, I don't know why they named it that, but it's not the golf course that I told y'all that was like prime property. now here in Letcher County in one video, some videos back or whatever, and it's where the actual golf course is. It's not that, it's a different place, and I don't know why they named it that. Maybe they were intended like years ago to put a golf course there. Heck, maybe there was a golf course there. I don't know. I don't know if y'all can tell it. I don't think it's picking it up on the camera, but that cloud right there looks like a hose punched out, and it looks like a heart to me. I'm always finding stuff in the clouds. But yeah, I don't know why they named it that. Who knows? But I just think it's real weird that all them birds are circling around and stuff at that golf course lane place over a particular, kind of close to a particular house. It's like one of them, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, so please forgive me if I'm not, but it's kind of like one of those Pablo looking houses, or is it called Steco or something? You know, like a Mexican style house. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not. I don't know what the word for it is. But anyways, every time I drive past there and stuff, I've been seeing that and stuff when I drive. And I just think it's unusual because usually like that, if you see birds and stuff flying around, especially that many in a particular spot, it's a sign of like death. And that means like there's usually an animal's carcass or something is usually near it if you see something like that. So, I don't know. And that's another thing too, which I have no clue. I don't keep up with the laws or nothing. But I don't know, I've been seeing all kinds of people here lately. So there must not be. But I've been seeing all kinds of people here lately burning and stuff outside. And we do have forest fires and stuff around here lately too. So I don't know. But it's mostly been people that burn away. I think you're supposed to be 100 feet away from the mountains is what you're supposed to be legally or whatever to burn or whatever. But I'm not sure. I don't know or nothing. But I know that there's been some forest fires and stuff like that up there at like going towards Pikeville. I want to show y'all why I see it. This is spring onions right here. Like these right here are their wild onions. You can pick them off and smell them. I don't have many of them in my yard no more, but that's what that is growing up there. Because you know they're a wild plant and they grow wild, and I'm pretty sure you can actually eat them too, like if you got desperate. Heck, if times got as bad as what it's supposed to be in the Bible, and the earth is still producing like daylight and nighttime or whatever, if times got so bad, a person, if they had to, if they were desperate, they could actually eat these hostas and stuff, because you can eat those hostas. Let me see if there's anything else in the yard that I can show you that you can eat if you got desperate or hungry. You can eat what's called white man's foot or plantain, but I'm not really seeing any. If I see it, I'll show it to you what it looks like. You can actually eat the dandelions. Dandelions are really healthy and nutritious for a person. I think you can eat violets or whatever, but you gotta watch it on like flowers and stuff, because a lot of flowers are very poisonous, and so you gotta really watch it on eating flowers. I don't know if my rose bush is gonna come out of it or not. I think it is from where I transplanted it, but you can't eat roses, I don't think. think roses is one of the ones that's poisonous. But now I have made, a few years back, I've made rose jelly out of the rose petals before. And it was actually good. I had it on just toast with butter, and it was good. I'm still not seeing no, can't tell if that's it or not. I usually have it over here, though, is where it grows. The plantain, or white man's foot, people call it. Because who came up with the name of that is whenever, obviously, the Indians is probably the first, to my knowledge anyways. I don't care what books say about who was living over here in America. I'm sure there was probably somebody even before the Indians group, or before they started saying like they were different groups in general. But anyways, what they said happened was, when the white men came over here, I guess like Christopher Columbus or whatever, and supposedly discovered America when it was already discovered or whatever. They said wherever the white man foot, wherever he stepped, in other words, he had this plant here. This is called plantain, or plantain, and it's also called the white man's foot, because wherever the white man's foot went, it would produce this. And a lot of times you will see it growing like next to dandelions and stuff. But I have a lot of it in the summertime. It grows it really big right here, like all these plants. And if you got desperate enough, you could eat that, and you could like make a salad out of it, and it's actually pretty nutritious for you. But I don't know like all kinds of weeds or plants or nothing like that a person can eat. So definitely don't take my input on that or whatever. I have ate those before though. I've eaten white man's foot or plantain, whatever you want to call it, and like, so let's say you got bit like by a mosquito, you could take and smush it up and like crumble it up and stuff, and take the juices out of the plant and rub it on your wherever you got mosquito bite, and it'll help it a little bit. It's just like a natural herb. I know a little bit about stuff like that, but not a whole lot at all. And I have ate dandelions before, like that, the flowers. When I was younger, I put those in the microwave, and I don't remember how long I put them in there for, and I don't think you have to do it like a long time or nothing, but probably under a minute. But I put some salt and pepper on them, and I ate them. They didn't taste good. They probably just tasted like flavorless. I don't know. I can't remember or nothing. I've never made like dandelion jelly or nothing, but a lot of people do and stuff, and it is really good. Dandelion is really good for like people who have cancer. It's one of the herbs or weeds or whatever you want to call it that fights off cancer and stuff. I'm pretty sure anyways. I just know it's really, really nutrient and stuff. Those over there is probably the most dandelions that we have around here, but those are not ours. Those belong to the neighbors. So anyways, I think I'm gonna walk back in the house and get off of here. And a man actually came over here the other day, Tuesday, and he did fix my dryer, so I didn't have to end up having it replaced. But that's what I'm going to walk up in here in the house back and do, y'all, because I am so far behind now, and it's going to take me a while to get straightened back up with all the laundry situation, rewashing everything. And when I say rewashing everything, I have got to rewash everything in the house. And so, and then finding a place to put it's going to be another thing. So that's what I'm going to go in here and do. But I don't know what he said. I forgot what he said was wrong with it. I don't remember. I think I don't know. I don't know what he said. I don't want to tell you all and be wrong. I can't remember what he said, but he had to go like behind the dryer and do something and work with the vents or something, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know what it was or anything. I can't remember. So I don't want to say. But I'll leave y'all with looking at this little purple flower. I don't know what these are called. Seems like everything's blooming earlier this year. Usually those bloom like in May. But it does seem like they're blooming earlier this year. Like I said, that's the only one I have. Now up the road from here, and maybe I'll show y'all before they die out. But there's one of the neighbors that live up that way, and they have a ton of those little purple flowers growing next to the railroad tracks up there as you go by, which they didn't plant them. The people who lived there most of their lifetime in that house, when the people who built that house before they bought it off of them, they're the ones who planted it and stuff. But I am going to get off here and go get started on my laundry. Unfortunately, I would rather be outside. I just love nature. But so relaxing, especially on a day like today where it's not raining, not even sprinkling. Don't the birds sound so nice? Listen to them. They sound wonderful. But I got stuff I've got to do because no one else is going to do it for me, and I'm the only one that does anything, so gotta be done no matter what. So I want to get off here and go get started on it. I still have a ton of laundry out here, and where it rained the other day, I've got to rewash everything out here. I've got to wash everything in the house, rewash it, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with everything. That's the problem. That's why I don't like a whole lot of junk anymore, like whatnots and stuff for collections, because I just don't have the room for it in this house. Don't have the room for anything big. Don't have the room for I wish I did have stuff, I'm not talking about collections and stuff, but I wish I had more equipment when it comes to like cooking and stuff, but I don't. That looks like a fish. That gray cloud right there looks like a little fish, little gray fish. But anyways, I do wish that I had like a blender, more kitchen items and stuff like that a person uses and stuff. But even if I did, I don't have the room for it. There's no room in my house for nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no room in my house for anything. I can't stand, especially with all the people I have to live with, I can't stand. There's just not enough room for all of us. We all don't even have that looks like a stingray. I don't know if I can put my finger on it. Looks like a stingray fish, that cloud does. But and that kind of looks like a turtle. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm always looking, like I said before, at clouds and stuff, seeing if they look like different shapes. But anyways, yeah, I guess I'm one of those weirdos that does stuff like that. But if it was my dream, if I had the money or whatever, I wish I could afford, because my oldest daughter, she's 21 years old. I wish I had the money. Like, let's just say, or pretend that I'm like a millionaire, or I won the lottery or whatever. What I would do is I would buy my oldest daughter. I would do it all on the same. I would like a big piece of property. A big piece of property that's pretty much just separated off just to my family. And when I mean my family, I mean my daughters and I. That right there cloud looks like an eagle. The one below it kind of looks like a pterodactyl's head, like it's flying. That's just me though. But anyways, this looks like a dragon's head over here. Anyways though, I would like a piece of property big enough that I could have my dream, even if I'm not able to do it nowadays because of my age, disabilities, or whatever. I still would like to do it. We're just saying if I won the lottery. We're just dreaming like right now because that would be the only way to do these things. But I would have a piece of property big enough and in places flat enough that I could put myself a miniature farm outside and run it. And then and I want a miniature cow. I don't know what they're called, but I do want a miniature cow. Those are so cute. And I guess that they produce milk. I don't know. But anyways, I would like one of those. And then I would also like some goats. I want it all. I want some goats. I want some chickens. I want, I even want sheep. And I don't know, I want a donkey. I want it all. I want a guinea pigs. I want more cats. I want more dogs. I've always wanted Siberian Huskies, and I have never been able to get Siberian Huskies. And I want a bunch of them. I'd like to have at least 7. And I don't know, I don't really want a horse, because I don't think even if I had the money or whatever, even if I could pay someone, that's the thing too, even if a person, let's just say a person did have all kinds of money like that to get all those things, who are you going to trust? Pay to trust someone to be around your property, around your family, around your animals or whatever you've got, to tend to anything, even if you do have gobs of money. There's a trust issue there. And I've burnt a lot of bridges in my lifetime, and whether it's been my doing or other people's doings, and either way it don't really matter. There's a face in that cloud right there. I don't know if you can see it or not though. Now it don't look like a face now, looks like a bat now. But anyways, that's what I'm saying, is like, who would you trust even if you had the money to do those things for you? I mean, I can't think of not one person. You know, I can barely trust myself, and that's just being honest. You know, so who would you trust even if you had all them things? Who would work to your standards? Now, if I had the money and if I was in charge, I admit to it, I'd be a bitch. You know, I would definitely be somebody with like a type A personality if I was in charge and had that authority or whatever. But I wouldn't put up with nothing, and I would work people to the bone if I was in charge. So I would not be a good person to work for. I would be an a-hole for sure if you had to work with me, if I had to be somebody's boss. And I'm sure nothing would be up to my standards either if I had that kind of authority or whatever. That's just being honest. I mean, I just don't think, who would you get? That would be a big time problem right there, is if that was to happen. I think in a lot of people's situations, you know, if that was to happen, I think that would be, which I'm willing to do it if that was to ever happen. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I would love for that to happen. Wouldn't we all? Wouldn't anyone? But anyways, I think most people would, and I don't blame them at all. But anyways, that would be a big old problem though. And then too, just finding land like what I'm talking about, I wouldn't want it below a certain sea level of land. Like this down here where I live at, definitely too low to the sea level for me. So I want to go up higher and stuff. And we're talking about my dreams because it's obviously my channel, my take on stuff, and my YouTube channel or whatever. And we're just talking about my dreams, whatever. And so obviously, I would want a piece of land or property if it was my dream, either towards Jenkins, in between Jenkins, still in Letcher County, or because I'm tied to Letcher County no matter what, because of my children and just my life or whatever for the rest of my life, or even if I hate it. But I just don't want to be in this area. I want to be in a different area. But anyways, or Pike County or the Pike County line or somewhere near the Pike County line. I would like a piece of land or property. And then also I would want, well, pretty much I want all the animals you can get, you know, for a micro mini farm. And two, I want micro mini buildings. Like I want a micro mini barn. I want like a micro mini fenced in area for my animals, like my cows and goats and chickens, and just let them run free and all that stuff. And then I want gardens and stuff, like vegetable gardens. I want it all. I want like vegetable gardens. I want fruit trees gardens. I want herb gardens. I want flower gardens. I want rose gardens. I mean, all this miniature is what I want, like in a miniature version. But I want it all on the same property or land and stuff. And I want it all because I am disabled and I have a harder time now. And I'm just going to keep getting worse if I don't start moving more. And either way, I'll be fighting it for the rest of my life because I'm older now. And time don't slow down on nobody or nothing. So anyways, I would like raised bed gardens, no matter what they are. And I want them fenced in too. So that's what my dream is on that. And then also, I would like a underground, and I don't really know how exactly it would be or what I want for sure, but I want like an underground garden that kind of has like a greenhouse on it or whatever. And I also want like a underground place that you would put like your dry goods and like your storage for like potatoes and stuff like that, you know, like a stockpile and stuff, like underground. But I want this in all, like I said, miniature, like a micro mini top farm type thing or whatever. But and then I'm sure I want other dogs besides Siberian Huskies. I'm sure there's other types that I would like to have or whatever. And let's see. I want, well, back to the housing situation. I haven't got into it in none of my videos yet completely, and I'm kind of staying away from it. Maybe eventually I'll work myself up to talking about it. But my oldest daughter and I have a estranged relationship, and it's for all kinds of different reasons I will not get into in this video. But anyways, I would like for her to have her own place off to herself. I don't know what it would be or nothing like that. That kind of looks like, I don't know if you can see it right there, kind of looks like a camel's head and a camel's back. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. Right there, that cloud. But anyways, I would like for her to have her own place, but I want it all on my property, like near me, next to me. And I know I haven't been completely honest with you all, and I'm still not willing to talk about that situation and be completely honest. But I would like for her to have some kind of place that she didn't have to live alone, and it would be on my property. And so, therefore, I don't know what it would be that I would either buy or build if I had that kind of money. But I don't know if it would be like a trailer, a double wide, if it would be like a built house. I guess it would be according on to how much money it was and stuff. Or if it would just be like a cottage home or what. But I think I would feel better because, and I'm not going to get on here and talk about her either and her disabilities and stuff. But I think I would feel more comfortable as her mother if that was to ever come and pass. I mean, we can always dream, y'all, and we can always pray about things as long as we're breathing and living. But anyways, I would like for her to live with her dad, and that's what I said I wasn't completely honest about, and I'm not going to get into on this video and talk about or nothing. But I would like for her to live with her dad, and so he could kind of like watch her and stuff and be over top of her. But I'm not so sure if that was to ever come to pass that I would put it in her name. I don't think I would put it in his name, but I'm not positive on it. But I wouldn't want it to be, even if I had millions of dollars and if that was to come to pass or whatever, I wouldn't want to put it or keep it in my name either, because she's already an adult. Even if she's not there completely mentally because of traumas and different things, she's still there. And if I was to pass on, I obviously love my children, and I want to leave something for my children and stuff. So, and I wouldn't have to worry about things for my children, if I was to pass on or whatever. I want to know that they're being took care of or whatever, in other words. So obviously I would love for everybody would love for in their own situations for that to come to pass. I'm just dreaming and talking to y'all. But anyways, and then on the same property, but I would probably deed it out some way or another in either her name or and I would never want her to get rid of it either. But anyways, because I'd want to know that, because I love her, I want her to know that she's always going to be took care of, and at least that way. But anyways, I would deed it out to her in one way or another, or her dad, or whatever. I'm not so sure I would want to deed it out. Obviously, I wouldn't want to. He's my ex, no matter what. And I wouldn't want to deed it out to him. But I don't know. We're just dreaming and talking. I don't know how that would turn out or nothing. But it would all be on the same property. I would just deed it out to different people in sections. And I'm not going to talk about why or nothing in this video or anything like that. But also my dream would be to have like my other daughter, my youngest daughter. She's just 15 years old right now. But if that was to come to pass, I would dream of having her, like we would all be on the same property. But I would love for her to have her own place, even now, if that was to come to pass, like right now or something. I would love for her to have her own place and stuff too. Like, I don't know if it would be a built house. There's a lot of different factors to all that, even if that was to come to pass. It's all about the property. It's about how much money. There's a lot of different factors to all that. But I don't want to live with her. I mean, I know I have mutual guardianship over her right now, and she does live with me. But I do not want to live with her. I love her, but I don't want to live with her. I'm sick and tired of dealing with her school stuff. And it's just not a reality. It's not a possibility or nothing. And I'm not completely going to be honest about it, and I'm not getting into it in this video with you all. And I'm not sure I ever will be. Looks like there's a little eagle right up in there. That's what it looks like to me in that cloud. But anyways, like it's falcons right there. anyways, though, I'm so sick and tired in general. You know, she's my last child, my last daughter, and I'm not able to have no more children or nothing. But thank God to me, I can't handle no more children. But anyways, it doesn't mean I don't love them. I love them more than anything. But anyways, I'm sick and tired of dealing with school systems in general. Sick and tired of dealing with social workers in general. I'm sick and tired of dealing with different personalities in general. And especially the teenage years when they sass back and stuff. I can't handle it no more. And so I'm sick and tired of it. And it's a long story, and like I said, I'm not getting into it as to why then, if I feel like that I won't just like hand her back over to her dad or whatever you want to call it. And I won't get into it in this video, but we have, over the years, we have tried different living arrangements. She has lived in Pike County with her other family over the years. And so she's tried it a lot of different ways, but what happened with her is, I'll just say it as shortly as I can, but ever since the whole 2019, 2020, all that stuff, and ever since then to like 2021 and even to now, where they wasn't allowed to be in person at school for all that time, and then the whole wearing masks thing and all that social distancing bull crap and all that, she got to where she hated school. And before all that, she used to love school. And she used to be a good student. She used to make good grades. She used to get up for school on time, go to school on time, be at school, show up for school. And then after all that happened, she hates it. She hates school. She misses school all the time. And when I say all the time, she misses school all the time. And yeah, there's other issues with that I'm not obviously going to get into in this video. And if she's not missing school, she's always tardy. And she's also one of them, she's became one of them girly girls. Nothing like I've ever been. And so she's just all about the hair, all about the makeup, and just she takes forever to get ready. And I just can't deal with it. I'm sick and tired of dealing with it. And so we're just dreaming, like I said, and it's not a possibility. The only thing possible right now in my current situation for me to do, and she does not want me to do it, and I'm fighting against the other family members of her dad's side and him. I'm fighting against them when it comes to all that. And I've been down every one of those routes before, so there ain't nobody that can tell me nothing new under the sun. I've seen it all. I've been through it all. And so anyways, her dad does not want me to take her out of school right now. And neither does she. So I'm literally fighting against other people over that situation right now. And it's not like this is the first time I've been in this situation. This has been an ongoing thing ever since the whole stuff happened back then. And y'all know what I'm talking about or whatever. But anyways, she does not want to. And you can't legally drop out of school. I think it's all over the United States. But I'll just say it's for Kentucky for sure. But they changed that stuff back when my oldest daughter was like in kindergarten or preschool. They changed the age of dropping out of school to age 18 in the state of Kentucky. So basically you have to be considered an adult before you can even drop out. And if you do drop out at 18 in the state of Kentucky, they changed so many rules, and I don't even know all the rules that they changed it to, but they changed all the rules whenever it comes to like getting your permit, getting your driver's license, and how that works. It's not like how it was whenever I was younger. That ain't the way you go about doing those things no more, and I don't even know how you do it, so I won't talk about it. But in other words, if you drop out of school and if you're 18 years old, they will like hold your time period back on when you can go get your driver's license and stuff like that if you've not already got them. And so there's like something called permittees, and there's different steps, and there's a bunch of steps in getting your driver's license anymore. It ain't like how it used to be back whenever I got mine. But anyways, she does not want to drop out of school because, and I'll just tell you the reason she don't want to drop out of school is because the social part of it. She wants to be, she's a little bit, not really, but she's a little bit outgoing. Not really though, but she does like to be around people and she does like to do things. But she doesn't like education at all. She doesn't like going to school. She doesn't like schedules. She doesn't do good with schedules. She doesn't get up on time or none of that stuff. And she's got a very, very sassy personality towards me. And I forgot, I've seen therapists and they've seen therapists in the past years ago. But years ago, I had different therapists tell me that both of my daughters, and me and her have kind of an exchange, however you say that word, relationship too, but not as bad as my oldest daughters. And it's not because neither one of them's my picks or nothing like that. I don't have picks or nothing. I love both of my children the same. But I won't get into it, but it's just other circumstances or whatever, other reasoning or whatever. But anyways, back years ago, therapists told me that both of my daughters it started with the letter O is all I remember. I don't know if it was ODD, it's not OCD, but it's like they're being rebellious towards me. In other words, I don't know what the name of that is or whatever term. You know how they come out with terms for everything. That looks like a mushroom cloud. But anyways, so I don't want to be in charge of that, and her dad ain't much better. I'm just being honest when it comes to her school and stuff, and neither is her other grandparents. And obviously I wouldn't want her to lose custody or him to lose custody, and that ain't never gonna happen. We'll never give up our custody. We will fight for our children, but I would never ever want my daughters to be actually put in custody on paperwork with either one of my parents or nothing, even if they do live next door to me. That's never gonna happen ever. But anyways, neither one of us is ever going to lose custody no matter what of our children. But I would prefer, if I ever had the question or opportunity or whatever, and I've been in those situations before, so it's not like it ain't new to me or whatever. And it's not going on right now. I'm just saying, if it was to come to pass, or whatever, I would choose her to live with her dad or his family or whatever over living next door to me, to my parents. But anyways though, she also wants to go to school for the social stuff like dances and stuff like that. That's the reason why she wants to go to school for. And also boys, let's just be honest. And she doesn't have a boyfriend or nothing like that. She has had boyfriends and stuff, but she wants to because of the social part of that stuff. That's the only reason. And because she's a girly girl and she likes getting, buying dresses and getting ready for dances, and they don't even have but like a couple dances a year at her school or whatever. But that's the reason why she don't want to get out of school. And we've had her homeschooled before for like a semester. That didn't work out either. It was like the same thing with the situation. She wouldn't do none of that stuff online. She never does none of her schoolwork or nothing like that with the Chromebooks or none of that stuff, online stuff. She wouldn't do the homeschooling stuff. I mean, and and y'all can judge me however you want to. I don't care because it's my channel, it's my life. But anyways, as far as like her dropping out of school, I wish that was still legal. you know, I didn't drop out of school or nothing. Now, my ex did. He dropped out of school, and back then you could still get jobs and stuff without a GED or having an education around here. But they did change that. I don't know how many years ago it was. I would say that was close to about the time that I graduated high school. They changed the rules to all that you had to have either a GED or whatever to get a job, even at like a fast food restaurant around here in Kentucky. So, but anyways, he looked up on that because he works for a man, and that man's older and stuff now. But anyways, he lets him by with murder pretty much, so to speak, or whatever. He's real good to him. And so he'll never have another job, and he never did go back and get his GED or nothing. And so obviously her other family, like her dad and his family, they don't care if about education and about like dropping out of school and stuff like that. You just can't do that nowadays. And I've gotten to the point with her and my oldest daughter, and also the bullying stuff. Everyone gets bullied to a certain extent, but some people get bullying worse. My oldest daughter, like I've told y'all in other videos, she has gotten bullied worse than anybody I have ever seen in my entire life about being bullied and stuff when she was in school. Now, my youngest daughter, she has gotten bullied too for other reasons. And pretty much the reasons, in my opinion, why she's been bullied and stuff is because, and I hope to God that none of her little people she goes to school with watches my YouTube videos, but well, whatever, they will eventually. But anyways, she gets bullied obviously because she's a pretty girl. And I know there's like a difference between pretty girl privilege and all that. Well, my daughter and I, obviously, we're not rich or nothing like that. We're poor. But anyways, she is a pretty girl. She's an attractive girl, and she's got a nice little figure and stuff, and a lot of people are just jealous of that. And she's also a sweet girl. But anyways, that's the reasons why she gets bullied. And plus, a lot of times if she dates boys and stuff like that, she's at that age, and you know how kids are nowadays, or children are nowadays, they're mean. And that looks like a bird flying, that cloud right there does. But anyways, they'll be mean to you over whatever. But that's the reason why she gets picked on and bullied in school. And she doesn't get it that bad, but she does get it pretty bad. Not nothing like my oldest daughter, and it's for different reasons, but she does still get bullied and stuff. But anyways, the online bullying is what, and that looks like a bird there too. The online bullying is what is so bad, and I would never. I'm so glad that social medias and the internet wasn't out like it is now. Back whenever I was growing up, that's a good thing. But anyways, so basically, that back to my dreaming or whatever. That is why I wouldn't want to. Pretty much, basically, why I wouldn't want my daughter to live with me. But I feel like if that was to happen, even though we're talking about dreaming or whatever, I feel like it would be okay for her. And I don't think that I think she'll have to eventually get some kind of job and stuff. And I think she's capable of working and getting some kind of job in life. So I think some way or another, she'll be able to live on her own, in other words. So anyways, I would get her own place, and then I would get myself. I don't have to have nothing big. You don't have to have nothing big or nothing like that if you're living alone or whatever. And so what my dreams changed several times in my lifetime over the years. I'm sure it does for a lot of people. But anyways, what my dream is right now at this moment, woo, there's a bug, there's a wasp flying around me. I don't know if y'all seen it or not. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of waspers and stuff. But anyways, it was flying around my head. I guess because I was carrying this clearly Canadian bottle and it smelled it. But anyways, what my dream is right now if all that was to come to pass, and I know that's big time dreaming. I've never been little when it comes on the dreams. I've dreamed every day of my life. Dreamed my life away. But anyways, so my dream right now, I think I would be happy with like a cottage, like a shed, turning it into a little cottage house just for me, and it would be all on the same property, and I would live alone. And legally, I'm not supposed to live alone either. I don't know what that is, but it's turned into something. I don't know what that would be. I think that's the one I thought was a turtle, but now it's got like a tail. So I don't know what it is now. But anyways, I would still live alone if that was at all possible and stuff. That looks like a, let me see if I get it on the right spot. That looks like an elephant's trunk, a little baby elephant's trunk in there, little tiny one. But whew, some amazing shooting across the creek over there. Scared me. But anyways, so I would get like a shed, one of those. Probably the ones that they're building now. You'll see them in like the tiny house movement or the shed to house movements or whatever. It's the ones that they're coming out now. Now, granted, I would want a pretty good size one. I would probably want one of the biggest ones that they make. I think the biggest ones they make is like 8. I look at them all the time on YouTube and different places. And there's a place in Texas. I forgot what part of Texas. But they're one of the main places right now. I don't know if you can see it, but there's mosquitoes all around me. I guess they love my blood. Type O negative. But anyways, there's a place in Texas, and they're starting to build them, and like they're one of the main builders that I know of right now. And I think they build them. The biggest they build them right now are, I think, 18 inches wide by like 63 or 64, probably 64, I think. And so that's what I would want, is the biggest one, and I would just want it for myself. Now, like I said, I would put it all on the same property or whatever. Stupid mosquito bit my finger that I'm holding the camera with. But I would put it all on the same property, but I would not live with nobody. I would live by myself. And then I guess I might as well tell you too, a short version of it anyways, of why I cannot legally live alone. I have to have someone living with me, and I'm really supposed to have someone to live with me for the rest of my life. And the reason why for that is, and that's another reason why I could not work a job no matter what because of my disability, is because back in the spring of 2023, and I won't tell that story because it's too long on this video, but anyways, back in the spring of 2023, that's whenever I first started having seizures. And I've not really had none to my knowledge ever since. But once you start having seizures like that, you never know when you're going to have them again. And in my mother's side of the family, a lot of her sisters, whenever they got to about my age, in their 40s, and I'm 43 now, so I was like 41 or 42, I guess, whenever I started having seizures. But anyways, whenever they got in their 40s, her sisters and stuff, and that medically, that's what everybody goes by if you're a female, is your mother's side of the family and their genetics and all that crap. But anyways, my aunts and stuff, and they've already passed on, the ones I'm talking about, but they started having seizures when they got in their 40s. So I guess I'm like them, and I started having seizures back in 2023 when I'm in my 40s. And the type of medication that I'm supposed to be on, I kind of talked about that with you all a little bit in about my medical coverage video. But anyways, I don't have medical coverage right now. I'm still trying to work out that situation. It always gives me a hard time whenever the year switches over and stuff. And now the company I went to before, they don't have it now, the same medical coverage for the state of Kentucky. So I'm having to choose a different one, and the one I chose, I don't know what the heck their problem is. I think they scammed me, just like I got frauded and stuff last year. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. That's something I got to work on this week too. Got all kinds of stuff. I'm always behind because I got so much I got to do. But anyways, so in other words, I'm not taking my medication. Let's just say that, because I don't have insurance. And that's why I'm not seeing doctors. But anyways, I was supposed to be on medication, obviously, and they're supposed to help control my seizures. Well, thank God I've not had no seizures or nothing. I felt like plenty of times, even before this, even when I was on medication, that I was going to have seizures. And obviously, I believe, in my opinion, stress, being worried and stuff, like I stay mostly because of my financial and living conditions, my living situations, and my environment. That adds on to everything when it comes to your anything medically or whatever. So, but in other words, I'm trying to make it as short as I can possibly say to you all. But I can't legally live alone no matter what. Ever since I had those seizures, I can't legally, because I could die. I could have seizures and die. Nobody would be there to see me having them or get me to a hospital or whatever. And the same thing with me working. If I'm working with the type of medicine I'm supposed to be on, and I'm also supposed to take shots once a month. I'm not getting nothing right now because I don't have insurance. But anyways, because I'm supposed to have shots for my headaches that I didn't start having until after I had seizures. But I get horrible headaches. They're not migraines. It's from the seizures. I get horrible headaches, horrible pains. And yes, I have to admit, the shot, and I don't know the name of it, but I'm sure it's a doozy. The shot does help me. The shot definitely does help me. I hate it. I still haven't brought myself to I don't know if I'm saying the right word or not, but immune to taking the shot. I hate taking that shot. But I take it. I'm supposed to take it once a month. Obviously, I've not taken it or nothing because I don't have insurance. But anyways, so that's another reason why I can't work a job, is because of where I have the seizures and stuff, because I could pass out and stuff. And then if I wanted to, I could sue them and stuff. And so no company's not going to hire me because of that. And if I didn't even have the seizures, they wouldn't hire me anyways because of my disabilities, because of medically, because ever since I had breast cancer and I was on the types of chemos I was on 2 different types. In the beginning, I'm not going to tell that story either because it's too long. But anyways, in the beginning, I was on a really powerful, strong type of chemo that pretty much took you all day to take. And then the second one I was on was just one that they was trying out. It hadn't been out on the market that long. And it was going from the first one to the second one. It was pretty much just going from horrible, time-consuming experience and a lot of bad things to pretty much just drinking water or something, and it didn't last that long. It only lasted for I don't even think it lasted for an hour. It probably was just half an hour or something. But anyways, so it's the same thing with the chemo situation or breast cancer situation and stuff too. Nobody's gonna hire me, because if they was to hire me, the same thing could happen. I could pass out and I could sue them or whatever, you know. And I would. I mean, I used to not be in the suing type or nothing like that. But yes, I admit it. I definitely would if that was to ever come to pass. I definitely would. Y'all can judge me however. But anyways, I don't know. There's a lot of factors with stuff like that. And then too, let's just be honest and frank about it. Nobody's wanting to hire me anyways. I'm in my 40s. That's not a good age group to like go hire someone, especially like in a place like this. There's not that many jobs. And what jobs am I able or capable of doing in the first place? The only thing I'm really capable or able to do, and I'm really not, would be like fast food. And I'm sure even back the last time that I worked, that's the year back in like 2007 or 2008. But that's when they started changing up the rules to like fast food and stuff too. Back then, whenever I first got hired in and stuff, you didn't have to work like every section of the fast food restaurant or nothing. But now you do. You're supposed to be able to. And then I've never been properly diagnosed or nothing. And there's not no place around here that does that, especially for adults. I mean, whatever. But anyways, I think that I'm probably like dyslexic or whatever, and because I can't spell with a dime, and I have always have, I've had a horrible time with like numbers and stuff, and I'm horrible at math. I hate math. But anyways, so I would say that I'm probably so much percentage dyslexic or whatever. And so I cannot handle money, like counting down money and stuff like that. I can't do that. I can't even do it with using a calculator. And I cannot, even to this day, I admit to it, yeah, it's sad, but I never did learn how to tell time on like a round clock. I can't tell time. So there's a lot of things that is stuff like that I didn't learn. And so I'm not capable of doing stuff like that, you know? And so, and then too, on top of it too, I have colitis and sludge and stuff like that in my stomach. And so I'm always having to go to the bathroom. Like I'm even like making myself like today and all kinds of other days. Like I make myself, ever since I've done this YouTube channel and started it, I make myself do YouTube videos because I look at that as YouTube, even though I'm not doing so good and I'm not making no money and I'm not monetized yet. I'm trying my best, and I'm going to try my best, and this is what my job is going to be for the rest of my life, no matter what. And so I work for YouTube, and so I have to, I mean, I know I have went some days without filming, but for the most part, I'm trying my best to do like a video every day of something for YouTube. And even if I do get monetized, I realize now, I'm not going to talk about that all in this video, but I realize now you can't stop it. It's something you gotta do. You just gotta do it like it's a job. Like pretty much like I don't know if I can get by with saying that word, but pretty much like you're a slave to it, you know? And so that's just the way I'm looking at it and stuff. It is what it is. And I don't mind it. I mean, obviously a person would prefer to be kind of like somewhat their own boss, or to work for like YouTube or something and make money and not have to go to a job or work for home or whatever, so to speak, or whatever. But I couldn't work a job because of the colitis or whatever either, because I wear diapers. I've showed you all that in a different video. So I would literally use the bathroom on myself, and I know I do it all the time. And if I don't make it to a bathroom in time or whatever. And I know I'm out of shape, and that's my own fault in a lot of ways, but I don't have the energy to like stand or do stuff like I used to, or the strength or whatever like I used to or whatever. So that would be another factor. Okay, so I pretty much told y'all a short example of why I couldn't work and basically why I can't live alone. So, but back to my dream, what this video I guess was supposed to be about. I don't know, I never stay on one subject, I go all over the place. But anyways, the rest of my dream would be, I would want some kind of, I don't know, I think I would want like a fish pond, just a little pond that you would keep fish in. I look at everything as kind of like a prepper's point of view and stuff. That would be kind of like my dream too, you know. And so I would like a little bitty pond, not as big as this pond behind me or nothing, but I would like a little bitty pond just for the resource, not because I like to fish or nothing, just because you'd have it there if you needed it to be there, like in a shift situation or something. But I would like a little tiny pond on the property stocked with fish that I like to eat, like bass and bluegill, sorry I can't talk, and a crappie or something like that. And then I would also like to have like a little tiny, like all over the yards or whatever of the property, I would like to have like goldfish and koi ponds in different shapes and forms that like linked the property all over the property. And then I would love to have like a little tiny, at some point, like little bridges that you could walk across, little arched bridges that you could walk across on the property to those koi ponds. And then I like different styles too in architecture and stuff. I like Japanese style. I like American country style. I like cottage. I like farmhouse. I like all different types of styles. I like modern industrial looks of stuff. I like all kinds of styles when it comes to design and stuff. But I mean, me personally, I tend to lean more as far as colors goes. I tend to lean more towards blues, greens, pastels, and pink colors. And I do like white and black. I mean, I like all colors, but I mostly like the lighter pastel colors, or blues, greens, and pink colors, and white. I love white. But anyways, my daughters and my ex, and they have different styles, so obviously their places wouldn't look the same as mine. I mean, I would prefer to like get all the same kind of like house style or shed style, whatever it is that we chose, or trailer, or whatever it is, and just like kind of have like our own little village is what I would do. Look at how perfect. I don't know if I'm putting it in the right spot, but up, well, it went away now, but there was a perfect, just for a second there, next to that dark looking cloud, there was a perfect circle. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. It looked like someone had took one of those spinny things with a pencil and just made a circle out of it, like a line. But I don't think y'all got to see it or nothing. It was a little bitty one in that cloud. But anyways, so obviously their places wouldn't look identical to mine or nothing. Like my ex, if I remember correctly, he likes more like wooden type houses, like cabin type houses and stuff, like log houses and stuff like that, and darker looking stuff. And then my oldest daughter, she likes more like, her favorite color is black. I mean, so she's more like gothic or emo type. She's more into darker things like horror stuff like that. You know, she loves like blacks and gray, mostly black, but her favorite color is purple, but she does like different shades of purple. The only other color she really likes is blue, like turquoise blue. But that's really it with her. She just likes black, blue, and purple. That's the only colors she really likes. So I don't know what her place would look like, but I think she would like more like a modern looking industrial style house is what I would envision for her. And then my youngest daughter, she likes more like a farmhousey type look is what she's into. But she likes pink. Pink is her favorite color. But I think as far as decorating goes, she likes more like white and gray, black, more neutral farmhouse looking colors is what her dream would be. But I would love for, obviously we all would, we would love like some, I mean most people would love something like that. And then I would like a big lake on my property that was just linked to me and my family, you know, is a, not for a resource, but just, I won't get into it in this video. I will eventually make a video though, but of the good and bad about living next to water or whatever. But I would still like to live like next to a big open body of water like that, like a big lake. And that stuff just doesn't exist pretty much here in Letcher County or Pike County, so it would have to be man-made. But anyways, I would like a big lake, like bigger than this pond. I would like a, what people think this pond's a lake, but it's not. It's a pond. But I would want like a bigger one. I would want it to be square too. I would want it to be squared, and I would love if that was like, we're just dreaming now, but anyways, I would love like a covered bridge that went all the way across that lake, and somehow you would have to pass the lake before you got to my house is what my dream would be. But I think that's pretty much it on what I would dream of or whatever. And this cloud right through here, it looks like a lady's head and shoulders. I don't know if it's coming in clear for you all. It's her head and shoulders and her hairline, but now it's passing. Anyways, though, that's what my dream would be if I had all kinds of money or didn't have to worry about money, or if I won the lottery or whatever. And that's what my dream would be around here. And I want a swimming pool too because I like to swim. I'm just not so sure on in a hot tub. I'm not so sure on how, and I also want like a sweat room. But anyways, it wouldn't be like ginormous or nothing, you know, it would be all like in the same building or whatever. I think that there would have to be like some kind of building is common ground too, like to kind of interlink all the houses so that we could all get some use out of it, like the swimming pool and the hot tub, stuff like that. And also I would want like a big old area for like barbecuing and grilling out and stuff. And I also, on my house, I would want somewhere or another, I've always dreamed of having like a porch that wraps all the way around your house. And I want a covered porch at some point on my dream home. And I think a lot of people, a lot of us out here in the world dreams of stuff like that. I love decks and stuff too, and balconies. But also we would have to, for my family, we would have to, if money wasn't a problem or whatever, so to speak, or if my dream comes true, we would have to have some kind of building, probably like on the swimming pool house building or something. And I would want the swimming pool, personally, I would want it to be indoors. Me and my youngest daughter talks about stuff like this all the time though, just dreaming, and she's the opposite from me. She wants an outdoor swimming pool. But around here in eastern Kentucky, if you have a pool, whether you have an above ground or a below ground, obviously if you had the kind of money, I would want an in-ground pool. But anyways, or below ground or whatever. She wants it outside in the open, but I don't want that because living around here, if you have a pool, no matter what you have, you only get, if you're lucky, maybe 6 months, not even 6 months out of the year, just like with the weather, a swimming time, you know. So I mean, that's just not a whole lot of time if you ask me. you know. It's not possible for me, and it never will be possible for me, no matter if I did win the lottery, if that was to come to pass or whatever. But I mean, I would move if I could to a warmer state. I would definitely, when I was younger, I used to dream of living up north, like in Montana, in colder states. Now that I'm older, that's something that's changed too since I've gotten older. But I dream of living in warmer states now that I'm older and stuff. And so I would move down south somewhere. I love Tennessee. To me, Tennessee's always felt like home. But honestly, Tennessee probably isn't further enough south as far as the weather goes. It's probably about the same as what we get already down here. They might be a little bit more warmer than us and might get a little bit more humid. I can't talk for a second there. Sorry, guys. Humidity than what we do. Humidity. Sorry. But anyways, realistically, it's probably not further enough down south that it actually pan out or nothing. I think probably the best states down south to move to, if a person could, would be probably like southern Alabama. I think it's gorgeous there from what I've seen online. I would like to live at places in Florida, you know, if it was at all possible. I think northern Georgia would be alright. I think anywhere in between, but mostly northern South Carolina would be nice. And then I think pretty much the same of North Carolina. Pretty much anywhere in that state would be nice, but the probably best location in that state would probably be about, I forgot the name of it, but it's where a lot of people go on the Appalachian Trail to hike. It's in North Carolina. It starts with an L. I forgot the name of that place. And there's another town that's really beautiful, and it starts with an S. I want to say it sounds like Sahara or Soror or something other like that, but I could be wrong. I forgot the name of it, or Sonona or something other, but it's in North Carolina. It's more towards in the inner, like on the Tennessee line, and it's on the southern part of North Carolina, or either the like middle on the Tennessee line, like in the Cherokee Mountains, northern part of North Carolina. Those would be nice places to live. Or even Virginia wouldn't be real bad of a place to live at. I used to think it was a horrible place to live when I was a child. But I don't think, now that I'm older and stuff, I don't think it would be that bad. I think it would be, those are probably the states, if I could and was able to move and had the choice to move to, those would probably be the states I would move to. I might would even move to Texas. I've never been to Texas other than driving through it, but parts of Texas I'm sure is nice. And I'm sure there's parts in Kansas and Missouri and Oklahoma that might be nice. And maybe even Arizona or New Mexico might be nice places to move to. I still think California would be a nice, and I think it's gorgeous and stuff. I'm not so sure about living out there or nothing. I'm not so sure if even if you had unlimited amounts of resources or finances that you would want to live there. I look at California more myself as a vacation destination. And the same thing with Oregon and Washington and now like Montana, like those places that I used to want to live at, and I still think they're the most gorgeous places there is in North America. But I don't think I would want to live in them. And I know I have a lot of people here on YouTube who subscribe to me, and I'm not trying to hurt y'all's feelings. like I said, I think it's more like to me, in my opinion, those places are more of a vacation like spot as far as it goes, other than like living at. And the same thing goes with Alaska, and also the same thing goes with Hawaii, because to me, um, it's like the same thing with Hawaii. Hawaii is its own island. It looks like a bat, but anyways, Hawaii is like its own little. That right there looks like a duck. It's folding out though. But anyways, Hawaii. There's another bat over here. But anyways, another cloud or whatever. But Hawaii, where it's its own island like that, even though it's gorgeous, it does have a lot of resources and stuff, and it's off to itself. I look at that more of a vacation spot. I wouldn't want to live there. And as far as living in other countries, I don't care how bad America gets, even though it's getting, well, I do care, but there ain't nothing I can do about it. There ain't nothing none of us can do about it. But anyways, I wouldn't want to live in another country. You know, I want to visit other countries. I would love to visit New Zealand. There's all kinds of, I know I'm not saying it right. I can't speak, sorry. But anyways, I'm sure there's a ton of other countries that I would love to visit. I'm sure there's places in Europe that I would love to visit. There's places in Switzerland I would love to visit and see. Norway, Denmark. I would like to go to Greenland or whatever. Um, there's all kinds of places around the world that I'd love to visit or whatever. But as far as like me actually moving, if money wasn't an issue and everything else, I would never move to none of those places. Like I said, for me and my life and my family, I'm stuck here in either Kentucky. I'm stuck here in Kentucky, but it's just whether or not I live in Pike County or Letcher County right now. You know, right now, obviously, I'm stuck here in Letcher County. But if my dreams came true, wherever the property was at, whether it was in Letcher County or Pike County, that's where I would want to be at, you know. But if I was not stuck here or tied here because of my situations or situationships and my children, um, if I had to still live in Kentucky, I would prefer to live in central Kentucky, like around London. I love London. I absolutely love London. I used to go there all the time for my medical needs and stuff, some of my medical needs. Or I would go to anywhere around London, like Barberville, beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful school. Or like Corbin's nice. I mean, anywhere around those areas. Williamsburg, I mean, is very nice. Somerset. I got a friend, used to be my best friend growing up and stuff. Um, she lives in Somerset, Kentucky. We've just lost touch over the years and stuff. I still think the world of her. But anyways, and she has no clue, I don't think anyways, about my YouTube channel. But our lives have just went different paths and different directions or whatever. But she has a really good life and everything. I'm not saying that. I'm happy for her. But anyways, she lives with her family in Somerset, Kentucky now, and that place is absolutely wonderful. If a person has to live in Kentucky, that's where I would recommend that they live at, is in central Kentucky. Anywhere around those areas like that, like Lancaster, Somerset, Corbin, Barberville, Williamsburg, even Richmond, Kentucky, London, Kentucky, Casey County, Kentucky. All those places around there in central Kentucky. That's what you call central Kentucky. All them places are wonderful places to live at if you have to live in Kentucky. And I'm sure there's other places in Kentucky that's nice too. Those are just the ones that I would recommend or whatever for people, in my opinion, if they had to live in Kentucky, if they chose to live in Kentucky, where to live at. I've been to Lexington and stuff, and I'm sure there's places in Lexington, Kentucky that's nice too, you know. It's just that for me, and that's why I say I wouldn't recommend it or nothing, but I don't like city living. I like little towns, like Cynthiana, Kentucky. That's a nice place to live at. They have a lot of beautiful, if you like little towns and stuff like that, or little town feels or whatever, that would be a great place to live at in Kentucky or whatever. And there's also a place in Kentucky. It's near that Noah's Ark thing that they built, and I think it's called Williamstown, Kentucky. I think that's where they built it at. And it's right next, all them places are kind of similar, close together. And it's right next to Cynthiana in Kentucky. And so all them places are nice. Now, my grandpa's that lived in that house there before my uncle did, my dad's mom, she was from a place in Kentucky called Carlisle, Kentucky. And that would be also kind of considered more northern central Kentucky. And that would be like if you was going from my direction anyways. That would be like if you're going towards Cave Run and the Red River Gorge and all that. And that would be a nice place to live at too if you had to choose Kentucky, or if you wanted to choose Kentucky. I guess I'll finish this video off. I've been on here for close to 2 hours now, almost anyways. And there's a train getting ready to come by. I guess I'll try to walk out here on my porch so y'all get a better view and show you the train that's getting ready to come by. And then I'll finish off this video. This wasn't supposed to be a long video, but seems like I always ramble on and make them long. But here's the train going by. What it looks like. He blows the whistle for you guys. I got him to blow the whistle. I put my arm up like this and went up and down. He blew the whistle for you. It's an empty train. I guess they're going to go get some coal. There's a ghost on the train. I guess it's a ghost train. Sorry for the streaking, y'all. They're squeaking, sorry. A little bit, not much this time, but there was a lot of, or a little bit of graffiti on there that was cool looking. I wish I knew how to draw. I wish I was good and talented at stuff like that. a graffiti art. I love it, but I love all art or whatever. I don't know why that looks like that's full again. We just had that pumped out, that septic there. Oh man, that's not good. That's not good at all. I swear it sucks to be in this house. It sucks to live here. But anyways, that was like $700 just last month. Oh gosh. Anyways, though, I guess the only thing else I was going to tell you all about before I do cut the video off, the only other thing about my dreams or whatever, as far as animals goes, I love birds. And I don't know if y'all have ever been there or not, but there's this place I would definitely recommend you to go. I haven't been there in years. That looks like a little lamb or cow with its little ears sticking out there. But anyways, I would recommend y'all to go to this place in Tennessee. It's near Dollywood, and it's near Pigeon Forge. I think it's near, or past Pigeon Forge. It's in Dollywood. It's like right next to it. I forgot the name of it. It's just not coming to my mind right now. But it's like a Christian bird park. I can't think of the name of it. I think it's called Parrot Mountain, but I could be wrong. But anyways, they have all kinds of, well, they have religious stuff there too, based upon Christianity, like Bible verses and stuff. It's real peaceful. It's real gorgeous, beautiful. And they have all kinds of little flower beds. They have all kinds of little like walk-in gardens and all that. And anyways, they have all kinds of birds. And they're all like, they're different types of birds. They have them all. They're like tropical birds and all that. So if you love anything like that, I would definitely recommend you all to check that place out if you can. I've been to it once, I think, maybe twice. It's a little bit expensive, but isn't everything expensive? And what's the point on going somewhere if you can't afford to go? So obviously, if you're planning on going somewhere, you obviously have enough money anyways to go to that destination, so you might as well go there. I think it is like $100 a person though, but I could be wrong. It might not be that high, but anyways, and it's been like since 2015 or something, I think was the last time I ever went there. But they actually have birds and stuff if you go there that you can buy too to keep indoors and stuff. Tropical birds and parakeets and stuff like that. So if you love anything like that like I do, I'd recommend you to go there. There's like it looks like a shark or something there in that cloud. I don't know, to me. Or maybe it's like a whale, would it spit up that circle thing? I don't know. But I would definitely recommend you to go there. And that's another thing I would have if, you know, my dreams came true. I would have like all kinds of different bird houses and birds of a variety on my properties and stuff like that. And I would also get, as far as animals goes, if I could get by with it, I would get as many animals as I could. I'm talking about all different varieties of animals, of like exotic animals and stuff. I would be the next Jess Exotic instead of Joe Exotic, if y'all know what I'm talking about. I'd be Jess Exotic or whatever. Whatever I could legally get by with, if I had that amount of money to do so with, I would have as many animals as I could on my property. And I used to think that I would want to, if money wouldn't matter or whatever, I would want like some kind of resource that looks like a big elephant's trunk and an elephant there. But anyways, if money wouldn't matter or whatever like that, I used to think that I would want to always build like a little tiny village or like a bed and breakfast, or I even used to dream of like, I love miniatures. I absolutely love miniature stuff. That looks like a little baby elephant there. But anyways, I absolutely love miniatures. And I've always been fascinated with trains like that just went by me. I hate living next to the train tracks, don't get me wrong. But I love trains. Love trains. But anyways, I love miniatures too, and I've always wanted to build like a. I always used to love. I like theme parks too, but I don't like riding roller coasters. Not the big ones, anyways. But like the small ones, I would like to build like a. We used to when we was a child. I'll tell about that in a different story, but I'll try to keep the short version right quick. When I was a child growing up, me and my sibling, we tried to build in that barn over there. We tried to build like a roller coaster one time, a miniature one, all on the inside of that barn over there. But that's always kind of been like a dream of mine too, is I would like to build like a little miniature, but big enough that adult could ride on it, like train tracks. And I know there is places like that. I would love to go to those places. I've seen them videos and stuff on YouTube about them. But I would love to build something like that. I would absolutely love it. And also I would love to build like, I love like fairy gardens. I love like anything miniature like that, doll houses, whatever. And I would love to like have my own little dollhouse in my house, and I would love to have fairy gardens like all over the place, inside and outside of my house, and also like little villages with little train tracks that actually work, that you could watch, kind of like on the movie Beetlejuice and stuff. I've always loved that ever since I seen that movie, the first one. I've always wanted like something like that that people could see, but I'm not so sure. As I've gotten older, I tend to, I don't know how else to word it, and if y'all have kind of gotten a clue on how I am, that looks like a big old boot or high heel shape, sideways like that. But anyways, if y'all have gotten a clue as to how I am or whatever, or picked up on it, you can tell I'm antisocial. I've been antisocial all my life, and I'm actually probably, even though I might be not shy no more, or as shy and a little bit more outgoing, I'm still antisocial, and I like being antisocial, and I want people to keep their space, and also I can't stand people. I hate people. I can't stand them because most people are assholes. Sorry for cussing, that looks like a dove, but most people are assholes. Sorry, YouTube. And they're just not my type of people, I guess you could say. So I don't think I would want to be responsible, even if I had the money, of doing something like that. And I couldn't physically, and I would want to be in charge of everything because that's just how I am. Nothing would be up, if it was my business, it wouldn't be up to my standards. Looks like a swan. But, I don't know, it looks like a little duck. Little baby duck in there. But anyways, so nothing would be good enough or up to my standards if I had that kind of control and power. And plus, I'm not physically able. The moon's trying to come out, you guys. I gotta get off of here. But I'm not able to run and clean like I used to whenever I was a cleaning lady at hotels. I'm not able to do that. That's actually really hard work. That's just as hard work as what it is to be a CNA and stuff, lifting at people and stuff, making them beds. I know it is because I've did it before. That's hard work, really hard work. In my experiences in life in the past, it seems like the harder you work and the more hard the job is physically, the less you get paid. Because I mean, even working at a fast food restaurant back in my time and stuff, that was hard work and stuff. You wouldn't think it, but it is. It's hard. But anyways, I guess I better be getting for real off of here. I've been on this video all day long, it seems like. I ain't got nothing done. Oh, it seems like that's the way it goes, though. But yes, I would definitely get as many animals as I possibly could, and even some exotic animals and stuff, and have them at my dream home in some way. But I don't think I would open nothing up to the public. I think if that was to ever come to pass, I would probably just leave it for my family and be done with it. You can't trust people, and most people are a-holes. And so I don't even think I'd want to run a business. So now that I'm older, I can kind of understand or see, like in the past, why people with money around here where I live at, why Letcher County's never got off its feet. It could have whenever the coal mining was doing good about 40 some years ago. It could have been like another Gatlinburg living around here. But I can completely understand now why people with the most money around here and stuff that have businesses and have multi-millions of dollars, maybe even billions. I don't know about that. I think there's only like one billionaire in the whole state of Kentucky. But anyways, one or two or something. But multi-millionaires or whatever, I can understand why they don't want to invest in this area. I can completely understand that by living around here my life and seeing it, especially now that I'm older and I'm an adult. I can understand it completely, and I don't judge them like I used to about people like that. That's why Letcher County will never have nothing. It's because of their residents. Their residents are mostly all idiots, or they're all on rugs and don't want to change. And so that's why Letcher County residents will not, for the most part, take care of nothing. They won't take care of nothing. Everything that they do put in here or looks nice and beautiful, people around here destroy. So people around here can't have nothing. And so that's why I would never do anything, even if I had all kinds of money and could do something like that. And I don't blame the people one bit who don't do stuff like that. Anyways, I'll finish it off with that thought, you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. I really do appreciate, and I mean it from the bottom of my little teeny tiny heart that's as hard as a rock. I mean it, that I appreciate every single one of you lovely human beings who stop by on my channel, whether it's good or bad or the ugly, and like and share, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, everything that you all do. And you're keeping my channel alive, and I appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.